Are you on a GLP-1 med and your friends are all jumping on this, oh my gosh, it's going to make you go blind bandwagon? If yes, this video is for you. Hey everybody, it's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss journey and hopefully you'll come along for the ride. So I know everybody is all bent out of shape about the mass media fear-mongering that is this study that shows correlation between an eye condition and people who were potentially prescribed a GLP-1 medication. So I'm actually going to insert a clip here from an actual doctor so that you don't have to hear it from me, but just in case you're not looking for a long video today, the short version is that correlation does not equal causation, right? And the example that I used in one of the support groups today to shut down someone who was absolutely going off the deep end on this is it would be like saying that aliens killed the dinosaurs. Now, could that be what happened? Sure. It could have been disease, right? We all saw how COVID was. Imagine if there was something like that that could have killed the dinosaurs. It could have been a meteor strike. It could have been God. It could have been a disease that affected all of the plants and the herbivore just died. And then because of that, right, natural selection, right, then the carnivores died because they didn't have somebody to eat, right? Like, you can't just pick out a little bit of information and then say, oh no, this is it. The dinosaurs, they definitely were killed by aliens. Okay, but that's not what the research shows, or we need to research this more, which in this case, they need to research it more. And I always take these sort of things with a grain of salt, because as someone who is very heavy into canine nutrition, this happens all the time. It's like, oh no, there was a study that was done that said that this is bad for dogs. Oh no, there's a study that says this is good for dogs. There is so much more that goes into this. You have to take these things with a grain of salt. You need to understand that GLP-1s are popular right now, which means you're going to hear a lot of really bad stuff that's just not accurate. So, without further ado, I am going to hand this over to Dr. Jenna to fill you in so that you're hearing it from a doctor and not just me.
We need to talk about this article. I'm not going to call this GLP-1 eyes yet, and here's why. Last week, this article was published in JAMA suggesting a possible link and association between GLP-1 prescriptions and this really rare, horrific eye condition that can cause blindness. So of course, this made all the news headlines last week and has everybody really concerned. All right, so let's get into it. A retrospective cohort study was done looking at patients of one institution. The electronic medical record charts were looked at for 16,000 patients who all went to the same institution. And this institution is a place that sees a lot of more rare medical conditions for the eye because it's very subspecialized. So it's already kind of a different group of people that they're seeing because they're so subspecialized, they're getting all of these rare things. In this institution, some of the doctors there had noticed, hey, I think we're seeing more of this particular rare eye condition. And so they decided to study it, and they did this by going back and looking at all their medical records. This eye condition is called non-arteritic anterior ischemic neuropathy, and the incidence of this happening is 2 to 10 in 100,000 people. This is just the general incidence. This incidence has nothing to do specifically with GLP-1 medications. This is just how often it's seen. And so what the researchers saw is that when they went back and looked at their medical records, there was an increased incidence of NAION in people who had at some point been prescribed a GLP-1 medication. So this is an association, it's not a causation. We don't know for sure that GLP-1 medications caused NAION. It's just an association. Of course, this needs to be studied further, but right now we do not have any proof that this is a cause and effect sort of thing.
If you found this video helpful, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. Love to have you along for the ride. If you're looking for a positive-only support group where we don't allow crazy fear-mongering like this, then definitely check out the link in the description box below. I'd love to have you there. And as always, be kind, rewind.